Hey there, and welcome back to the Balance Podcast, and welcome to quarter four of the year. The home stretch of 2025 has officially begun, and with that comes a burst of fresh seasonal energy, which can be so fun. Many business owners at this point, though, might be asking themselves, where did the year go? It is all too common to look up in October and realize that time has flown, goals have been forgotten, and potential achievements maybe have slipped. So, when faced with that realization, some entrepreneurs they fall into a dangerous mindset. Maybe I should just coast for the rest of the year and tackle my big goals in the new year. If you've caught yourself thinking that, it is time to flip the script. Q4 is not the time to give up or hit snooze on your ambitions. It's your chance to turn the year around. Business experts actually recommend treating the fourth quarter not as a wind down, but as a strategic checkpoint for your business. So, your year isn't over just because it's the last quarter. In fact, Q4 is often the time when everything can come together. Even if the first 9 months maybe didn't go quite as you'd planned, that's okay. There's still room to shift the outcome. One new client, one well timed project, or one strategic pivot can completely change how you close out the year. The key is to not give up. As one entrepreneurial coach said, no matter how hopeless it might feel, you can overcome if you persist. So if you've been tempted to push your goals to, well, someday next year, then think again. This is your moment to reclaim Q4 and make it count. In this episode, we're going to cover some practical strategies to help you make the most of your last quarter of 2025. From refocusing your goals and plans to leveraging the seasonal opportunities to then maybe tidying up your financial house. Yes, of course, I'm going to talk about that. My bookkeeping expertise will come into play briefly. So consider this your game plan for a strong finish. Let's dive in and make Q4 your best quarter yet. First, let's talk about reflect, review, and realigning your goals. First things first, take stock of the year that's happened so far. Pause and reflect on what's happened from Q1 to Q3. What were your wins? Big or small, write them down and celebrate them. You and your team deserve that. Recognizing those wins builds positive momentum and it reminds you that progress has been made. Also, be honest with the challenges. Which goals did you maybe set in January that are still unmet? Which strategies worked well and which ones fell flat? This honest review is not about beating yourself up for what didn't happen. It's about learning. And as the year enters in its final chapter, this season invites business owners to pause, not just to reflect on what's been accomplished, but to thoughtfully consider what lies ahead. So, in other words, use your year to date experience as insight to realign your vision and your plans for the remainder of the year. Now is a perfect time to revisit the goals you set earlier and see if they still make sense. Markets change, priorities shift. It's okay, and it's often smart to pivot or adjust your targets. So perhaps some objectives that you've had in January are no longer relevant, even, but new opportunities have maybe popped up. So refine your plan so that your Q4 goals are realistic, focused, and aligned with where your business is today. What matters most is that your efforts in Q4 are directed at the most impactful outcomes for your business right now. After reflecting on the past and adjusting your aims, you can set clear Q4 goals. You've been setting goals all year long, so honestly, why stop now? Identify one or a few key objectives that you can realistically, that is important, realistically achieve by December 31st. Maybe it's reaching a certain revenue milestone, launching that new website or product before year end comes, or it's simply clearing out that backlog of tasks that will free you up for a fresh start in January. I can tell you that is one of my main goals is that backlog of tasks. So if you've already hit some of your yearly targets, consider stretching a bit further. For example, if you've reached your sales goal early, challenge yourself with an additional one before the new year, a mini goal to push even higher. And if a big annual goal feels out of reach right now, don't throw up your hands. Set a smaller, more attainable goal for this quarter that will still let you end the year with a win. Think of it as the final sprint at the end of a marathon. It's about finishing strong on your own terms. Write these Q4 goals down and keep them front and center. We still have roughly 90 days in this corner, and in this quarter, and you can even break them into monthly or weekly milestones. The clearer and the more measurable your targets, the easier it will be to stay focused on them and maybe help you not get totally distracted by the holidays that are to come. So, prioritize key projects for maximum impact. With your goals realigned, it's time to prioritize the projects and tasks that are going to move the needle the very most. We have just 3 months, so you likely can't do maybe everything that crossed your mind this year, but that's okay. The trick is to focus on the high impact initiatives that align with those Q4 goals. Ask yourself, what projects, if I completed them, would bring the most value to my business before year end? Maybe it's finally launching that new marketing campaign, or it's implementing an online booking system, or in my case, nailing down my client workflows and my backend processes so that things run smoothly. Identify maybe 1 to 3 key projects that matter most and commit to those as your Q4 focus. By concentrating your effort, you avoid spreading yourself too thin. We all know what that's like. Remember, with limited time in the final months, it is crucial to focus on the projects that will drive the most value for your business. And prioritizing also helps you allocate your resources better and your team energy effectively. So once you've chosen your critical projects, break them down into manageable steps with mini deadlines. Create a simple action plan. What needs to happen this week? What needs to happen today? Who can help me with this? A well-structured plan is going to keep you on track, and it's going to help reveal any bottlenecks that might happen. So, for example, suppose one priority is improving your website for holiday traffic. Tasks for this might include a content refresh, maybe adding an e-commerce feature, and testing the checkout process. Schedule those out in October and November so that way you're done well before the late December rush. You're not going to be able to get this all done in December, right? So maybe if an internal process overhaul is a priority, like my client workflow revamp, carve out time each week to chip away at it steadily. The key is consistent progress on your highest priorities. Protect time on your calendar for these tasks and try not to get derailed by less important busy work. I know that is so easy to do. But if you find your plate is still too full, consider outsourcing or delegating some of the responsibilities. It is not too late to bring in a freelancer, a temp, or a virtual assistant to take on some lower impact tasks. Take those off your hands so that you can worry about your core team and focus on what truly is going to drive some revenue and growth. And you might be amazed with how a few outsourced tasks like bookkeeping, admin, or social media scheduling can free up hours of your time. The bottom line is be ruthless about your priorities. It is far better to finish 2 important projects this quarter than to half finish 5 different things. And I'm guilty of that myself. This is a pep talk for me as well. But zero in on what matters and commit to seeing it through. Leverage the season. Q4, sales marketing opportunities. One unique advantage of Q4 in this regard is that it has so many. Depending on your industry, the holiday period can be a gold mine for sales and customer engagement. So rather than seeing the last month or the last few months as a time to wind down, see it as a time to double down on reaching your customers. The holiday season is prime opportunity to boost your revenue, but it requires an early and strategic planning method. So start crafting your Q4 marketing strategy now, if you haven't already. Think about upcoming holidays and events. We have so many, right? There's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, New Year's. How can your business tap into the energy and customer spending habits around these times? Maybe you can run a year-end promotion or a holiday sale to attract new customers. Or maybe you can launch a festive marketing campaign on social media that somehow ties in your product or service into the season. Even service-based industries can get creative with this, right? For example, a consultant might offer a special year-end strategy session or something like that. A fitness coach might be able to run a holiday hustle challenge. So mark your calendar with the key dates and plan your promotions. An early start means that you can start testing things out. You can test the waters and you can refine your approach so that by the peak of the season, you're hitting the market. You're hitting the mark. And don't forget, to show appreciation to your existing customers around the holidays as well. This is so important. A simple thank you email, a small gift or bonus for loyal clients, or a holiday card. Honestly, those things can just go such a long way in boosting customer retention as the year closes. And if appropriate, this is also a great time to gather customer feedback. You might send out a brief end of year survey or just personally ask your key clients how you did this year and what they'd love to see from you in the next. Their insights can spark ideas both for finishing this year strong and improving in the new year. Let's talk about getting your finances in order. There's no way you didn't think that I would let an episode go by without a little number crunching wisdom. But all jokes aside, financial readiness is a critical part of a successful business. The last thing you want to do is reach December and then be hit with surprises, whether it's an unexpected tax bill, a cash flow shortage, or just in general, messy bookkeeping causing you stress. So take some time now, early in Q4, and get your financial house in order. Start by reviewing your year-to-date financials. How's your revenue tracking against your expenses? Are there budget areas where you maybe overspent or where you underspent? As the year draws to a close, it's essential to revisit your budget. And you have to understand your current financial position. I cannot overemphasize this enough. So maybe you had certain expense budgets that you didn't even utilize at all. Could that maybe be money invested elsewhere in Q4 to yield a return? For example, spend that on extra marketing. Or maybe cash is tighter than expected. In that case, you'll want to rein in spending for now. But make sure you have a cushion for any unexpected expenses. And that goes for all time, of course. Q4 can be unpredictable, especially as we talked about the seasons and all the holidays and all of that kind of stuff. Next, plan for tax season in advance. Don't wait until late December, or even worse, don't wait till next year to start thinking about taxes and annual reports and audits. If you have an accountant or a bookkeeper, schedule a year-end review meeting in October or November. This can help you estimate your tax obligations and figure out if there's any last-minute deductions or investments you should consider, and it can help you make sure that you're not missing any compliance deadlines. For instance, you might decide to purchase that new equipment in Q4 and take advantage of a tax write-off, or delay a big invoice until January. It's these kinds of things. It's these decisions that can affect your tax bill and your cash flow. So let's be strategic about it. The point is, get informed about where you stand financially before year-end hits. This is going to save you a ton of stress and set you up nicely for the new year. Lastly, use Q4 to tidy up your bookkeeping and financial records. If you've fallen behind on reconciling, like reconciling all your bank accounts and credit cards, loans, that kind of thing, or you've fallen behind on organizing receipts, block some time to catch up or consider that outsourcing that we mentioned. Many bookkeepers like myself, they offer year-end cleanup services or consultations. So not only will closing out your books properly make tax prep so much easier, it's also going to give you a clear picture of your business's health going into the next year. Knowledge is power. You might discover that your profit margins are a lot better or maybe a little bit worse than you thought, or spot trends that inform you for your 2026 planning. Plus, starting January with clean books and accurate data is such a wonderful feeling. Please trust me on that. Roll up your sleeves, knock out those financial to-dos now rather than frantically on December 31st or even worse, next year. Future you, I promise, is going to thank you. So also a bookkeeping pro tip, I currently offer free financial workflow consultations, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But if you want someone to take a look at where you stand and help you just identify any year-end gaps, I've got you covered on that. So now let's talk about streamlining and systematizing for efficiency. Another smart way to utilize Q4 is to improve your business's internal efficiency. When things are a bit quieter, for some businesses, late fall can be a slight lull before the holiday rush. For others, it's go time, but use your judgment on that. You can consider tackling those operational fixes or those backlog tasks that you've been putting off. The idea is to enter the new year with your business running like a well-oiled machine. What can you streamline or polish in the next few months? Some ideas, you can start updating your standard operating procedures, your SOPs. And This is so easy to do with AI now, right? So document those processes that only exist in your head right now. Clean up your client onboarding processes or implement a new project management tool to manage workflows. If you have a small team, maybe do some cross training so that team members can cover multiple roles if that's necessary. Building more flexibility and resilience for the busy time is such a proactive thing to do. For example, teaching an assistant basic invoicing or training a junior staffer to handle social media responses, that could free you up significantly. And Q4 is also such a great time to evaluate your tech and your subscriptions. I've talked about this before. Review your subscriptions. Are you using all the software that you pay for? Is there a more efficient solution that could maybe save you time or money? These housekeeping tasks, they might not be glamorous. I know they're not, but they will set you up for success. And on a personal note, this is exactly what I'm doing in my business right now. I've been polishing up my DIY Starlight Club, adding new resources, improving the marketing materials, fine tuning the member experience, and nailing down my client workflows and backend systems. It has been a lot of behind the scenes work, but I'm confident that investing this effort now means way smoother sailing in Q1 and beyond in 2026. If there are any kinks in your day to day operations, why not iron them out while you still have this end of year window? Think of it like a pit stop to tune up your business engine so that you can start next year at peak performance. Finally, improving efficiency in Q4 can also create immediate benefits for finishing the year strong because streamlined processes can save you time every day, time which you can redirect to those high priority projects or last minute sales efforts. Even a small improvement, like say creating an email template for common client questions or maybe reorganizing your digital files, it can reduce daily friction and stress. So take a little time this quarter to work on your business and not just in your business. Next, let's talk about rallying your team and maintaining momentum. If you have a team, even a small one or just a few subcontractors, Q4 is the time to really rally the troops. After a long year, it's natural for employees or partners to feel a little bit tired or distracted. It's the holiday mindset, right? And as the leader, you set the tone. So share your vision for finishing the year strong with your team. Communicate your Q4 goals and plans. Make it clear and make sure that everyone understands the priorities and their role within achieving those. When people see how their efforts contribute to the bigger picture, they are so much more likely to go the extra mile for you. And that is priceless. So consider holding a special Q4 kickoff meeting, maybe, or even just a pep talk during your regular check in. Recap the wins of the year so far. And of course, acknowledge everyone's hard work. Then lay out the game plan for Q4. What are the key targets and what needs to be done to hit them? This transparency can energize your team around a common finish line goal. You might be surprised at how rallying everyone around a goal can create a positive, focused atmosphere. It's unreal. It's also a great idea to incentivize and reward your team for this final push, if possible. Because remember, your employees or contractors, they might not be quite as invested in the year end results as you. Of course, you're the business owner. And that's completely understandable. But you can motivate them with some well timed perks. Could you offer maybe a small bonus if key metrics are met by December? Or maybe treat the team to a nice dinner or celebrate an outing in January if the Q4 goals are achieved. Things like that. Year end is a perfect time to show gratitude. Holiday bonuses and gifts, handwritten thank you notes, or a fun team Secret Santa exchange. There are so many fun ideas. All of these can boost morale. And a united, motivated team, they're going to carry that momentum into their work, ensuring that no one is slacking just because the holidays are near. And lastly, take care of yourself too. As a business owner, you've been hustling all year. I know this. Burnout often hovers in Q4. So, to effectively lead and finish strong, you need to be in a good headspace and in good health. So, while I'm here pushing you to the sprint, I'm also giving you permission to rest and recharge when needed. You know what you need best. Tune into that. Sometimes stepping away for a weekend or a quiet afternoon, or longer than that if that's what you need, it can grant you the clarity and energy that you need for the final stretch. Use this time. Use this time to reflect on your own journey this year. what worked, what didn't work, and realign with that vision that excites you. Your passion and your energy, they're so contagious to your team and they're pivotal for your business. So keep that spirit up, get enough sleep, balance work with a bit of holiday fun, and enter each day of Q4 with the mindset that this quarter truly does matter. Because it really does. It's one whole quarter of the year, right? So, with that, the finish line for 2025 is in sight. Q4 is your chance to not just end the year on a high note, but to really set yourself up for an even stronger start for 2026. And rather than succumbing to the I'll do it next year trap, decide for yourself that this year isn't over until you've given it your best shot. Remember, those come from behind sports victories, right? The teams that refuse to quit and they snatch the victory in the final quarter. That can be you and your business. One deal, one change, one extra push, it can make all the difference in your annual results. And even if you're already having a great year, why not make it a phenomenal year? Why not exceed your own expectations? There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So, to recap, we talked about shifting your mindset to embrace Q4 as an opportunity, reviewing and adjusting your goals, focusing on high impact projects, leveraging the seasonal buzz for marketing and sales, getting your finances squared away, tightening up operations, and keeping your team and yourself motivated and energized. That is a lot of actionable advice, but don't get overwhelmed. Pick a few key actions from this discussion that resonate with you most and start there. The worst thing you can do now is nothing. The best thing you can do is take even one step today, whether it's revisiting your goals, calling your accountant, or launching that promo to build momentum. As the saying goes, there's really no time like the present, right? Every small action is going to compound over the next 90 days, and that is such a powerful thing. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Finishing strong isn't just about the numbers or about checking off goals. It's about confidence. If you give Q4 your all, you'll walk into 2026 with your head held high, knowing that you didn't coast when it counted. That confidence can be rocket fuel for next year. And conversely, if you neglect this quarter, you might start the new year with regrets, or you're going to start the new year playing catch up, and that's no fun. We all know that. So you have a choice right now, and I encourage you to finish 2025 strong. Finally, a little personal update and a gift for you to my listeners. As I mentioned, I'm pouring a lot of my own Q4 energy into my Starlight DIY Club. It's my DIY bookkeeping community support, and I'm adding new trainings, I'm adding new resources, I'm trying to make it even more valuable for small business owners just like you. If you're organizing your finances or improving your bookkeeping habits, if you're doing that right now and it's one of those things that you know you need to tackle, and maybe you've been procrastinating, which of course, no judgment, I totally get it, the Starlight DIY Club could be the perfect support system. And since we're all about seizing the moment in Q4, I am offering 1 month free membership to the club for new members who join this quarter. Consider it a little jumpstart to your financial clarity. Plus, I am also opening up slots for free consultation calls as well. If you just want to chat about where you're at in business, where you want to go, and how I might be able to help, whether with bookkeeping or general organization, I would love to talk to you. It's a free consultation. It's an hour long, I believe. Sometimes just an outside perspective and a friendly conversation can spark that next big move. So check out the show notes for the link to claim your free month in the Starlight DIY Club or to schedule a free consult with me. It's honestly just my way of helping you commit to finishing the year strong and not pushing those important improvements off till next year. So, all right, let's all get out there and make the most of Q4. I am right here alongside you. I'm working on my own goals and I'm cheering you on as you work on yours. Let's banish the year-end complacency and let's replace it with determination and excitement. The last quarter could truly be your best quarter. It's up to you to make that happen. So keep that momentum, stay focused, and remember why you started your business journey in the first place. Finish 2025 with some pride and some purpose, and you will absolutely thank yourself come January. You've got this. Now go crush Q4 and end the year on a high.